fact, yes. So before I move on to the next one, this also just popped up. People were posting on their status. For example, I saw on Father Dennis' status, he posted Hakim Ziyech's picture, and he said that he wrote under it, Hakim Ziyech has not received any of the money the government gave him to play for the national team. He gives it out to his fellow countrymen, his fellow teammates, the staff, and so on. You get the whole idea. Ben, this is
Yes, that's really like charity.
yes.
Actually, when you take a look at the young man, you realize he seems to be a very cool, humble guy. If you look at him, personally, I seem to be a cool, humble person. I think he's even Muslim, if I'm not
Yes,
wrong.
yes.
I think they are very good when it comes to this alms giving and thing. They are very good at that. I really respect them in that light. They really do.
Wow. I mean, I was so touched. I wasn't aware. So when I saw that information, I realized how, you know, it's, well, I was going to say it's very rare, but usually the Europeans do that. I don't know, most African teams and players, I'm not sure. But for us as Ghanaians, yeah, we rarely see that happening. So, yeah. Anyway, now we'll move on to our next topic, which is Giroud's performance against England. Wow, the guy is now the all-time scorer for France. Like you said earlier when we were watching the highlights, surpassing um, Thierry Henry's record. Man, what can you say about that?
Well, I think or I feel for some time now we've not really heard about him, or he has been underrated in terms of the club he plays for. We've not really heard from him quite some time. Right, but one thing I do believe in is anytime he steps up into the game or steps onto that field, he really gives us some quality. He makes us see the true self or his true identity. All right. Ever since France started this World Cup tournament, it's been Giroud, Mbappe doing the scoring of goals. Dembele has probably been good in, creating assists, creating chances. You get it. And well, I must say he really deserves it. Congratulations to him. He really deserves it, and he really earned that spot as the top scorer.
So on a club level too, I believe he's pulling his weight too. He's pulling his weight there. Just that England hasn't been favorable, But even with that, he did try his best to prove a point. So let's I just wanted to set the record straight on the club level too, just to make sure that people out there who don't really know that on his club level knows that at least with that he still performs well in his club level.
Yeah, for sure. It was a good show.
Yeah. Let's move on to yes. In that France versus England game, there is a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. First of all, beautiful goal by that youngster. Beautiful goal by that youngster. Outside the 18-yard box. My goodness. Charlie, what a beautiful goal. Ben, what do you have to say about that long range?
Well, I must admit that in our generation, we must start getting used to goals scored outside the 18-yard box, or we must get to long range goals. In the sense that, yeah, I think Ziyech and a couple of others also equally have goals from outside the 18-yard box. It's really amazing to sit back and take a look at those goals. It's very, very beautiful. It's very, very interesting. A lot goes into being able to score from outside 18. A lot goes into training to be able to execute that beautiful masterpiece. It's not an easy skill to master. It's not an easy thing to do, but then it's constant training. You'll be able to get to that top level, to be able to perform amazingly, to be able to perform in an amazing manner, or to be able to perform in that way. Hard work pays. So yeah, constant training and other things, we will be able to get it to that level. Basically, that's what I think.
Wow, 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 wow. Yes, beautiful goal from that youngster there. He had the game of his life in his international career. Now we go on to talk about a major topic. Harry Kane, the Tottenham Hotspur player. Oh, Harry Kane is one of, I would say, he's not my number one, I would say, his favorite striker, my number one pick. But he's one of my favorites. He will be on my list. Today, what happened? What happened? He got 2 penalties, and you and I watched the highlights together. He converted one, and the second one, what happened? You think he was too overconfident? Was he too overconfident? Now, as we were discussing earlier, it seems we have our second Asamoah for England in the
Um,
stage.
all right, well, let me say, I think I don't want to say he was too overconfident. All right, I think in our previous videos, we all came to realize, or we all testify to the fact that it's not easy to step up to kick a spot kick or penalty kick. We realize that when you are faced with a penalty kick, there's a lot going on in your mind, a lot of eyes watching, and it's a huge responsibility on your shoulders. All right. Now he scored the first penalty, and that drew them on level 10. All right, at least to give them some confidence. Yes, he did the work very well at that side. But then coming into the second penalty, or the second spot kick, I feel he was in a hurry. I feel he was in a hurry to score, just to prove a point that yes, they have drawn level terms and they can fight and come back stronger. All right, but then with that mentality, it didn't help, because you realize he was playing against his own goalkeeper back at club level, and he really messed up. He kicked the ball he kicked the ball into the stands. You get it? He kicked the ball into the stands.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, oh. A lot of people were wondering how he missed that penalty.
Yes.
Well, to me, one advice I would give is, in situations like that, you convert the first one. I think it's no harm if you at least give the spot kick to a fellow teammate, or maybe a vice captain or something. That is will also boost that person's confidence. Because I think somewhere in Barcelona, I don't recall whether it's Daniel Alves or Mascherano, one of them hadn't scored a goal in a league or something, and there was a penalty kick, and Messi had the chance to take that penalty kick. He just gave the ball to either Daniel Alves or Mascherano, one of them, to take that spot kick, and the person scored. And he gave the person confidence. You get, sometimes at least you need to consider those who don't have any goal. Trust me, when you give them that chance, they won't let you down, because they want to prove a point. You get it? So a lot that's happening. A lot goes into taking penalty kicks. It's not an easy task. He did do assist, but it's quite unfortunate. We didn't draw them on level things and push further. But congratulations to them as well. They really put up a fight.
I felt that Harry Kane wanted to be on the headlines. Harry Kane scores a brace, sending England into extra time with France. I think I was talking about it with also someone when I was going home last week, Friday, with the driver, and the guy was like, Spain and France and England. I was like, England is close to the level of France in terms of quality of players, but no, I'll give it to France, because France, my goodness, the quality is just there. You and I know, we've seen it in the previous World Cup, and there's no difference. We've seen Giroud. What can you say about Giroud's performance? Despite Karim Benzema's absence, he still steps up to fill that shoes. You know, you can't see the depth of Karim Benzema's absence in in France, this France team. What do you have to say about that?
Well, when you have a game ahead and you are disadvantaged with your star player being out, what you need to do is to put yourself together, prepare yourself, go with a positive mindset, and deliver. All right. Now, I'm sure they were quite aware when he went on an injury that he won't be present. And so they had to, look up to someone. And in looking up to someone, they have Mbappe there. He's got a speed. They have Oliver Giroud there. You, they, they have Dembele over there who can equally work things out and create the chances. All right. So sometimes, yes, you may be disadvantaged with your star player down, but then if you let that affect you too much, or if you think about that too much, well, it will tend to affect your performance. All right. And one thing I've realized is the penalty shootout that have, come up lately with Morocco winning Spain like this. You realize that it's like now the keepers are surprising. The teams we underestimate have good keepers. Look at Morocco like this. I'm sure everyone thought if they go for penalties or if the match moves into penalty shootouts, Spain will be the contender or the winner, obviously. But then the Moroccan goalkeeper did very well. You look at Netherlands versus Argentina, where Netherlands were like, if they go into penalty, they'll win. But you look at the penalty shootouts, you realize that Martinez really did well. He helped Argentina. So the keepers come in, trust me, they are getting good at penalty kicks. And well, Giroud, kudos to him. He's really putting up a good fight. He's really showing them the quality, the skills, and the top level he's at. He's really exhibiting that in the national team, making it obvious that even without Benzema's presence, he can do something. He can work something out.
Wow. Ben, with Morocco and the penalties, me, I wasn't surprised with the penalties though. Because why? Because AFCON, we normally when we are playing the African Cup of Nations in Africa, um, we tend to find out that the North African teams usually they draw and they send the game to the penalty shootout, and they are very expert in the penalty shootouts. There, we saw that in the last AFCON where Egypt tried to do that. They did that before the finals, and when it goes to the finals, they tried to do that there against Senegal, but it backfired against them. So with that, I think Tunisia and Morocco and the penalty shootout, since they are not. Anyway, I don't know whether they don't want to consider themselves Africans or something like that. But well, looking at that, it wasn't really that shocking, especially if you're an African. And looking at the quality too, we have Hakim Ziyech from Chelsea, Hakimi from PSG, and so many key players that have played at that team. So yes, the quality is there, and also that kind of tactics that they used to play, which everybody knows about, is also there. Don't you think that is also a key reason why they have progressed this far?
Well, I think with unity, everyone knowing what he must do, everyone performing his part and responsibility well, it makes the team organized, and once the team is organized, you get the results. An organized defense, organized midfield, organized strikers, organized midfield. Well, everyone coordinating very well. You realize that everything falls in place. Victory is theirs. Exactly.